Okay, time to revisit Dr. Grande, and he's going to be talking about Looksmaxxing. Now, Dr. Grande, you would be the incels you were talking about if you hadn't gained status. So look at this guy's face. You think he'd be pulling the babes? Anyway, let's hear what he has to say.
Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today I will analyze the case of Braden Peters. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the incident, then
Oh, Braden Peters, that's what his actual name is. I only know him by Clavicular.
I'll offer my analysis. Braden Eric Peters was born on December 17, 2005, and raised in Hoboken, New Jersey. Why am I not surprised? This case features a New Jersey origin story. Braden attended a Catholic all-boys high school in West Orange. While he was there, he developed an intense interest in a practice called Looksmaxxing. The idea
Yeah, he couldn't get with the girls. That's right, Grande. Like you. That's why you gained status. What's your job? You're a psychologist? You're a psychologist, aren't you, Grande? Right. So you got yourself educated enough that you won't be considered an incel. That and you know your place. Incels are for guys who don't know your place, their place. You know yours.
here is that a person makes themselves as physically attractive as possible, sometimes employing extreme and nonsensical techniques. The term looksmaxxing originated in the incel subculture, which is made up almost exclusively of men. The term
Well, yeah, duh. Grande, you know what this is about. Why are you pretending you don't?
incel stands for involuntary celibate. Incels want to have sex, but are unable to locate a partner willing to engage in this activity with them.
Like you, if you hadn't become a somebody. Just a minute, I'm just going to quickly check and see what Wiki says about this guy. Ah, you're a licensed professional counselor of mental health, and you're an associate professor. Okay, so you gained status to get the girl, right? I should ask if he's married. You're probably married, right? Oh, I just noticed this last part. He is not a psychiatrist or medical doctor. His title refers to his academic doctorate. He's licensed specifically as a counselor. Wow. So, doctor, you're just a counselor. You're not even a psychiatrist. I can see why you're running to YouTube to boost your prestige, to boost your status, because you've got it right, doctor. This is how you get laid. You're smart enough to know what actually works. Yep, you got married and you celebrated your 30th anniversary, wedding anniversary, right? So you've gained enough status, she hasn't dumped you yet. She might be there the entire life. So you're a winner. Only you're a winner, but you have to go on YouTube. Isn't your job high enough status to keep her around? Anyway, continue.
They attribute their lack of success to their physical appearance, therefore improving their appearance would solve their problem. After embracing looksmaxxing, Braden injected himself with testosterone. This started at the age of 14. He claimed that he spent 14 hours a day reading about looksmaxxing online and playing Grand Theft Auto 5. Despite this, he graduated from high school in May 2024. Braden Peters attended
Despite this, so dude, you actually think video games stop guys from succeeding in life? Right. So you're bashing video games. So you're against male hobbies. Hey, you're quite a counselor. If I went to you, what's the first thing I'd want for my mental health? Give up everything that I love, right?
a private Catholic university in August of that year, but was expelled the next month after the police allegedly found steroids in his dorm room.
So he didn't really do anything wrong. He wasn't shooting heroin or something like that. So this guy isn't a criminal. And by the way, this happened at 14. In other words, he hit puberty and found out that the girls weren't interested in him. And Grandi, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to counsel you. It wasn't because this guy had a bad personality. It's because he had no status. He wasn't a doctor. So the girls weren't interested. And he wasn't a thug, right? So he had nothing to offer them.
Now moving to the time
He only had himself, which proves that girls aren't interested in boys for themselves.
line of the incident. In late 2024, Braden Peters took a job in a restaurant and posted videos on social media, including a platform called TikTok. He uploaded
Come on, doctor. Come on. You don't know what TikTok is at this stage in the game. This was 6 or 7 years ago. I might give you the benefit of a doubt. You do realize how disingenuous you were coming off, right, dude? Pretending you don't know these things. I bet you haven't heard of Instagram either, or Facebook.
content about Looksmaxxing, referring to himself as Clavicular, because he focused so much attention on the clavicle. This bone,
Oh, by the way, Looksmaxxing is bunk because he ended up going on social media to gain clout, like you, Grande. So he actually knows what he has to do. He has to gain status, not just good looks.
which is also referred to as the collarbone, connects the arm to the trunk of the body. Starting in October 2025, Braden gained a tremendous amount of popularity for his Looksmaxxing content. He was now a key figure in this movement and continued his effort to maximize his attractiveness.
Yeah, but he was actually maximizing his status. He doesn't need to go on YouTube to maximize his status, or TikTok, I should say, right? Or I should say, he doesn't have to I'm screwing this up. He doesn't need to go on TikTok to maximize his looks. He could do that without going on TikTok because it wasn't his looks that was getting him the girls. He knew he needed the fame.
Braden used several controversial methods, including steroids for muscle growth and methamphetamine to suppress his appetite. He engaged in an activity called
By the way, Grande, why pick on him for taking steroids? Since steroid use is common practice and been that way for decades. Right? I mean, are you against the Olympics? Because I'm telling you right now, there's very few Olympians, especially the weightlifters, right, that don't take, some kind of drug like steroids, right? All of them do. Female bodybuilders will take steroids.
bone smashing, which involves hitting one's face with a hammer or a fist. He believed this would cause microfractures that would grow back stronger, which would somehow enhance his appearance. There is no
He may not have done that, actually. He might have been just lying. Right?
scientific evidence supporting the effectiveness of this home improvement themed beauty technique. On December 24, 2025, a video of one of Braden's live streams attracted attention. It featured Braden appearing to hit a man with a Tesla Cybertruck in Miami-Dade County, Florida. The man had allegedly stalked Braden. This incident, which did not involve any criminal charges, led to Braden being banned from the platform Kick. Later, he was allowed back on the platform. Less than a year after he became famous, Braden was earning $100,000 a month for live streams performed on Kick.
There you go, dude. He knew what you knew, or no. He wants the girl, he has to have the moolah. So he was lying to his audience, saying this is about looks. But it was about fame and fortune. That's what gets the girls. Grande, that's why you were married. You're not married because you're a good-looking guy, that's for sure. It's not because your wife loves you either. It's because you became a doctor. And again, I'm kind of worried for you because that's not enough on its own. That's why you're jumping to YouTube.
He also sold a course on Looksmaxxing and self-improvement for $50 a month. Braden referred to becoming more attractive and gaining sexual prospects as ascending one's visual presence. This is what his followers were looking for. They wanted to ascend.
Yeah, guys, just like you, worship women. Men worship women. That's why you became a doctor to gain your wife, right? And these guys are doing whatever they can. They see it as ascension, not just getting in a sorry, not gaining a partner. I don't know what's wrong with me today. The thing is, the guys see having sex with a woman as a spiritual existence or experience, right?
Just like Braden. The success that Braden had in his social media venture was staggering. He has been called one of the most prominent influencers in the Looksmaxxing community. At some point, he moved into a 6,500 square foot mansion on Mola Avenue in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Yeah, exactly. That mansion is how he's going to attract the babes, not his chiseled jaw. And he knows it. And you know it.
Which rents for $65,000 a month. The mansion is valued at over $9 million. 6,500 square feet might seem like overkill, but Braden has to fit his ego in that house.
No, no, no. It's not overkill. That's how he gets the top tier girls. It's not his ego. You have the ego. No, this guy recognized you need some serious bling to attract the best looking women you can. Guys buy a house to attract a wife. Hey, Grande, do you and your wife live in a trailer park or a small apartment? Or do you own a house? I don't know. Maybe he does just maybe he lives in a high-rise apartment, right? Maybe Grande lives in an expensive apartment, right?
On February 7, 2026, Braden was arrested in Scottsdale, Arizona for possessing a forged instrument, using a fake ID, and suspicion of dangerous drug possession. The charges were dropped 4 days later.
Yeah, because they didn't have anything on him, dude, did they? This guy isn't a criminal, other than that he's a grifter to men. He's a con artist like you. You're a con man, by the way. And I can say that, Grande, because you're pretending you don't know what TikTok is.
On March 26, 2026, Braden was arrested and charged with battery in connection to allegedly provoking a physical altercation between his girlfriend, named Violet, and an influencer named Jenny. Around the same time, he became the target of an investigation after allegedly shooting a dead alligator on a live stream. During an interview with 60 Minutes Australia, which aired on April 12, 2026, Braden was asked about the association between incels and Looksmaxxing. As I mentioned, the term Looksmaxxing originated in the incel subculture. He responded, quote, "I'm not linked to that group in any way. Looksmaxxing is self-improvement, right? So it's about potentially ascending out of that category. And so that would be kind of one of the goals, is to disassociate from being an incel and overcome that." Unquote.
That's self-loathing. You're a counselor, right? You studied psychology. So you know this is self-loathing. He could embrace one of those guys and say, I was one of those guys and I hope the best for them. I hope they succeed like me. No, he was an incel. And he doesn't want to be associated with these guys. But he came from them and he was one of them.
Quote. At another point, the interviewer said, "You've obviously shared company with Andrew Tate and other, dare I say, rather controversial figures. Why do you spend time with people like that?" Braden said, "All right, have a nice day," and accused the interviewer of trying to make this political.
Well, she was actually. Like Andrew Tate and them, what all they are is grifters trying to get laid too. Right? So she's trying to dirty his name through association. But all those guys are just like you, Grande, status chasers. You're chasing status on YouTube. Actually, there's not much difference between you and Clavicular, only he's more successful and you've taken a different route. You bashing Clavicular is how you do it, but it's not as successful. I'd like to rub that in your face.
He stood up and walked away, ending the interview. On April 14, 2026, while Braden was live streaming at a restaurant in Brickell, Florida, he started slurring his words and repeating phrases multiple times. He was taken to a hospital and treated for a suspected overdose. On the next day, he posted on social media saying, quote, "All of these substances are just a cope, trying to feel neurotypical while being in public, but obviously that isn't a real solution. The worst part of tonight was my face descending from the life support mask," unquote. At the time I am making this video, Braden Peters continues to enjoy phenomenal success as a controversial social media influencer.
I'm glad he does. I'm glad he does. I don't like the fact that he's grifting to other guys. That's where he's a danger, right? I bet he's never actually harmed his face. I doubt he's put a hammer to his face or anything like that. So suggesting it to other guys as a solution, that's where he's a criminal. But Grande, he will never be put behind bars for that. Grifting low status men, YouTube loves that. Society loves that.
Now moving to my analysis. Braden's ideology aligns very well with the incel subculture, despite his denial that he has any association with that community. I imagine that many of his customers identify as incels, or at least worry about their ability to attract a romantic partner. The underlying beliefs of incels are straightforward. They believe that women are biologically wired to seek the highest status men available in society, and this—
They don't believe, they can see it. You can see it, Grande. Hey, Grande, you got married, right? Did you give your wife an engagement ring? I'm not saying that you did, but that's the standard practice. Engagement ring is a bribe. Why would you pay a woman to be around you? Right? I mean, it's observable that guys pay women for their time.
This tendency has been amplified by feminism. There's something special about this time in history, making it more difficult than ever for men to obtain sex. The primary metric that women use to determine status is physical attractiveness, especially facial structure and height.
And that's bunk. Again, if that's what it was, Clavicular wouldn't need to be on TikTok. He wouldn't have need that $9 million home. His looks alone would do it.
Men who are ugly and short have only a small chance of romantic success. Many incels maintain that attractiveness is an—
Well, you debunk that. All you have to do is become a doctor and become somebody on YouTube. And you got a wife that'll hang on your leech off you for 30 years.
immutable trait. That is, it cannot be changed. If a man is unattractive, he will remain that way for his entire life. An attractive man who is highly successful with women is referred to as a Chad. The female counterpart to a Chad is a Stacy. This is an attractive woman who pursues high-status men.
Yeah, but all women pursue high-status man. Their lingo is really embarrassing. There is no Chad. There is no Chad. There's no good-looking guy that women respect and love because he's good-looking. Good-looking men get dumped in divorce, just like every other guy.
There's Chads. Incels wish they could have sex with Stacy, and they are upset when that doesn't happen. In light of this belief system, it is easy to understand where—
Well, they get upset that they can't get anyone. I mean, Grande, why would you, like, that's propaganda you're spreading. Incel guys will take homely girls. So what you just said is false. They may go on about Stacy, but they'll take the non-Stacys.
Braden fits into the equation. Incels view him as a physically attractive, successful, and confident man. He is categorized as a Chad. The Chad figure is important to the incel subculture. He is both revered and despised. Chad
Now you're actually getting it right. It's male envy. Men don't like other men. You're proof of it, Grande. Because you, as a counselor, could actually show empathy for these guys, but you don't. Your video is another attack on them.
is getting what incels desire, namely sex, but he also may contain wisdom that could help them achieve success. If a Chad is willing to give away the secrets to romantic success, to offer a look behind the curtain, his advice would be sought after. Braden went on social media with a message that incels could interpret as hopeful. Again, they view physical attractiveness as immutable, but Braden is telling them something different. He is offering a solution to a community who believed they were out of options. Braden promotes this idea that physical appearance can be changed. Not only is a modification possible, an extreme transformation is achievable. A man can go from unattractive to Chad.
See, this is his true criminality. He's grifting guys, desperate young guys, who are just going to give him money and get nothing in return. That's his true criminality. But everything, all his troubles with the law are just because he was caught taking steroids or some drug. Or maybe he was misbehaving a bit, like shooting a dead crocodile. I mean, there's a victimless crime.
This would facilitate many opportunities for sex with Stacy. The message that Braden delivers is exactly what incels want to hear. They have reduced everything in life to attraction. All their hopes and dreams pivot on that one construct. They believe that without attractiveness, no man can achieve other goals, like wealth and fame. Attractiveness is sort of the gatekeeper to everything good.
I can see why they might get fooled by that, because apparently, like, CEOs, at least male CEOs, are above average height overall. You know, by comparison to the male population in general. So, of course, people say these incels see, like, these CEOs tend to be tall men. Then, therefore, height must have something to do with it. Right?
If they can just maximize this one variable, if they can just look good, all the other pieces will come together. Not only will they obtain sex, they will get rich, be offered a great job, and have optimal social experiences. To incels, Braden's story is the proof that their belief system is accurate. He has confirmed the nature and structure of the dating world and holds the key to enter that world. According to Braden, he started out as unattractive. He developed an interest in looksmaxxing, and now he has women, fame, and fortune.
Of course, these incels are ignoring the fact that he bought a $9 million home and that he became somebody on the internet. And they purposely ignore that. You know, because only so many of us can be financially successful.
One of the strangest features of influencers like Braden is how they insult and criticize incels, while simultaneously making money from them. The self-hatred component of the incel community makes this possible. Incels want to hear how bad they are. They are not looking for reassurance. They are looking for sex. Anyone who can teach them how to find sex is a hero. Another key component of Braden's message is that appearance is the easiest thing for a man to change. Even though incels place a lot of importance on attractiveness, they recognize that rich and famous people can obtain sex too.
There you go. But they ignore that. Right? Because it's not a part of their obsession.
The problem is the high difficulty level associated with becoming rich and famous.
There you go.
Incels want sex, but they would prefer not to work hard to get it. Many people
Well, it's not just work hard. They see whether it's achievable or not. Hey, Grande, why don't you work hard and become a world-class sprinter? Right? Why don't you work hard and become a world-class sprinter? Or here's another thing. Why don't you work hard at your official career as a counselor? What are you doing here on YouTube? Trying to take the easy route. It appears you're no, you're just as lazy as the incels you're talking to.
will recognize how the incel ideology and the similar belief system maintained by their heroes are ridiculous. They view people like Braden as problematic. He is misleading vulnerable young men and potentially causing a lot of damage. If influencers like this did not exist, the problem would go away. In my opinion, this isn't really the correct way to look at it. These influencers are a symptom rather than a cause of the problem.
You're
Incels
right.
have a lot of extreme and nonsensical beliefs, but they do have a point when it comes to the power of physical attractiveness. Studies show that attractiveness is the most important predictor of romantic success. It is more powerful than any other factor, including wealth or fame.
Well, not for long term. It might get you a guy a lot of one night stands, but women only partner with a guy, like your wife, if he maintains a decent income, and especially if fame or notoriety to go with it. Again, that's why you're on YouTube.
It is difficult to overstate the positive impact of being attractive. It is a massive benefit. For the most part, people search for the most attractive partner they can find, given their level of attractiveness. What has changed over the last few years is the effectiveness of the searching method. Dating apps allow people to view thousands of potential partners and select only the most attractive.
But it also shows that women aren't interested in men. If women were really looking for a guy on dating apps, they just get together with them. They don't, though. So dating apps for women isn't about getting together with guys, is it? It's maybe gaining some male attention and some flattery. So the whole issue, Grande, is that women really aren't interested in men. Again, that's why you're married to some woman, but man, you couldn't just be you couldn't be a broke ass loser, right?
I think the fundamental problem for incels is how they view this dynamic as unfair, not recognizing how it is simply the nature of the romantic marketplace, subject to the laws of supply and demand. Another problem.
Well, the demand can be seen as unfair, right? Because men are obsessed with women. They say, why can't women be obsessed with me? Right?
Problem for incels is their desire to be with the most.
Oh, by the way, uh, women's lack of desire for men can be seen as unfair, but their hostility towards us is unjust. That's the important thing, Grande. Because these women, they despise these incels, even though these incels worship them. That's more than just unfair. That's unjust. Women should feel pity and sympathy for incels, but they don't. They find them contemptible. It's not because they have bad personalities.
Attractive women. They claim that they are looking for sex and any woman would be acceptable, but this isn't true. They want to have sex with Stacy.
Well, we all do. So do you, genius. But you accepted whoever said yes. Just because these guys want top tier doesn't mean they're not willing to accept low tier. Now, Grande, when guys watch porn or have a pinup on their wall, don't they choose the best looking woman they can get? Like, what's wrong with you? Well, I know what's wrong with you. You're supposed to be a psychologist to know how people's brains work, but all of a sudden These young guys, they don't deserve that. They don't deserve to go, hey, don't go for the brass ring, dude. You're lazy if you don't go for the brass ring, but also you shouldn't go for the brass ring because you don't deserve it. Right? I can see right through you, Grande.
The solution for incels is to face reality and focus on the variables that they can change. In all likelihood, they will not be able to alter their appearance in a meaningful way.
Right,
Maybe
exactly.
a little bit, but not enough to make a large difference. They can, however, invest in career objectives and social skills. Dating apps are not the only way to find romance.
Social skills. Dude, women are shallow. You think your wife picked you because you have a quirky personality? Like, do you not see how you behave on the screen? You don't exude, gregariousness. You don't exude a bigger than life personality. How come you aren't self-improving yourself?
Many people find lovers through work, through hobbies, and by building a network of friends. Attractiveness is
Yeah, but network of friends. In order to get into social circles, women have to like you, dude. Like you're married, right? So you're validated by a woman. So you could probably get in the circle of friends of couples, right? Of your age. Young guys, if they're not accepted by women, they're not accepted by anybody. And you know this too.
less important in relationships that develop over time, like knowing a woman as a friend first. It's
Man, that is puke inducing what you just said there. Be friend zoned. That that is purgatory to a man. Todd, being friend zoned means that the woman doesn't want you. She's either attracted to you or she isn't. Once a guy becomes friend zoned, there is no launching. That's like landing on a high gravity planet. Once you're there, the gravity says, nope, you're never leaving again.
also worth noting that despite the dominant role of attractiveness, the other variables should not be disregarded completely. They can still have a significant impact. For example, research shows that kindness and empathy strongly influence romantic partner selection.
For guys, it does. Guys love an empathetic woman. They love a woman who'll treat them kindly and be nice to them. The girls aren't interested in that though, dude. The girls love getting together with the thugs.
Staying isolated and only using a dating app while being unattractive is a recipe for failure, but incels are not willing or able to explore other routes.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Guys go on dating apps because the other options don't work. You really think the dating app came up? The dating app wouldn't exist if guys had success with these other routes. So, Grande, you're just lying at this point.
Again, this is why the easy way out, Looksmaxxing as promoted by Braden Peters, is tempting to many incels.
Well, there's no hard route. Look, these guys are willing to break their bones. How's that not hard? How's that not sacrifice? So, how's that the easy route? Just a minute, Grande. Leg lengthening is a painful procedure. They may leave a man crippled. And surgery is increasingly being pursued by men who believe that increasing their height will improve their dating prospects. The procedure is extreme, painful, and expensive, typically costing between 15,000 pounds and 150,000 pounds. So, how is that the easy route? Grande? Where are they going to get their 15,000 pounds? And that's the bare minimum. They'd have to work for it. So these guys would have to put in months, if not years, of labor building up this money to take this painful surgery that may leave them crippled, all to fail at getting a woman's attention. How is this the easy route?
It matches their desire to avoid
And by the way, why you take an easy route? Getting your face on YouTube. Why don't you just stick to your counselor job and grow that way? Because that's the hard route. You're the bum.
work. The strategy is simple. Take any proposed solution and add the suffix maxing. Incels are not interested in a long, uncertain, and socially demanding process to find romance. Looksmaxxing.
Well, they don't want to deal with the rejection. If they were involved in this, socially, whatever you just said there, and it was gaining little gains, they would go for it. But they'd go in, get rejected, feel depressed. Try it again, get rejected, feel depressed. Eventually, that just wears them down. You would know all this, Grande. Look at your face.
Offers the illusion of control in a system they believe is rigged, which makes it far more appealing than strategies that require time, effort, sensitivity, empathy, kindness.
No. Screw you, you lying sack. Empathy. Women have zero empathy for men. Zero. If you really wanted to improve these guys, you'd be going after the women, not them.
And thoughtfulness. Incels and their heroes may appear to be engaged in narcissism maxing, but the underlying pattern is more consistent with laziness maxing.
No, you're the lazy bum. You're the one who's ignoring your job and going on YouTube. These guys are willing to do anything to get with women. This is just so obviously untrue, what you just said there.
To incels, Braden Peters functions just like a drug, a tempting shortcut that appears to solve their problem, but ultimately
Not a shortcut, just any way to succeed.
makes everything worse. Those are my thoughts on the case of Braden Peters. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.
Well, you are quite a bum, Grande. You disgust me. You gained your status by getting educated, get a job, and you finally got this probably low-tier woman to stay with you and leech off you for 30 years. And even then, you're so insecure, you jump to YouTube. Your job isn't good enough. It doesn't pay enough. And you know something? It's hard work listening to people. So here you are with your face on YouTube, the easy route. Who are you to piss on these guys? Anyway, I've said all I need to say about this character.